All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, in the name of the Holy Spirit, the earthly mother, sanctifying Yahweh Shai, the Holy Son. Honor and respect to the chosen and the grafted, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome to another book study. Today is September the 30th, 2020, and it's currently 10:06 a.m. This is your humble servant, Big Levi. All right, today we're going to study the book of Nebuchadnezzar, two tablets by Demon. All right, so folks, to understand this book, you really have to read the note from the translator, Father Umberto Cliff. I would say this is probably the most important part of the book, once you read it. All right. So in the book, he gives you a little history, a little background of Nabopolassar and King and the other king, Cyaxares, I believe. Yes, Cyaxares and Nabopolassar. The names are kind of like difficult. So we're not going to go into the whole book, but we're going to read it and then put some scripture upon it. All right. Now, the Father Umberto Cliff, which is a member of the priesthood of Mahan, so apparently a good one. If you read the whole thing, you understand why. So he stated in the book there is a modern Vatican connection to this story as well. What I can surmise is that the owner of the tablets has friends in high places within the Catholic Church, okay, within the priest of Mahan. So the book, when he discovered the book, well, not really the book, the person sent him 36 tablets. Okay, the tablets were like as little bar soap, but he made it into somewhat 30 chapters. Okay, so now he translated it, but the dude was like disgust, man. I mean, it's really hard to see a priest of Mahan being discussed by another priest of Mahan. He's being disdained and despised, another priest of Mahan. But anyway, let's read a little bit. Let's read the whole chapter so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, this is where I officially start. I am a doctor in ancient language translation, so this guy is an expert. I wrote my doctorate 53 years ago, trying the Hebrew authorship of the manuscripts that make up the 1611 King James Bible. Okay, so this guy is an expert. He's a well-respected fellow. Okay, he's not none of your average typical YouTuber or whatever dude that's online claiming to be this and that. So to the authorship of non-canonical texts, keyword non-canonical text they didn't approve, text proofs of Mahan is like, yo, this doesn't fit our agenda, we don't like them, including the books of Enoch, which we know very well, and the Maccabees. All right, the particular academic feat, coupled with my duties as priest, Mahan, has afforded me sabbatical for biblical research and sometimes an interest phone call from a fellow researcher. I received one such phone call back in 1985. Okay, so back in 1985, let's do a simple math, simple calculation. So 1985, remember that was before the whole fiasco of internet. 2019, that's when this book was released. Okay, so 34 years. Okay, it took 34 years. Now, back in 1985, I received a phone call back in 1985 from a man who desired to hire me as a translator. It was a long distance call from Rome. Okay, for those of you who don't know where Rome is, it's in Italy. Whoop. There are so many Rome. Okay, there are so many Rome. There's Rome in Georgia. There's Rome all over. Now we know for a fact the Rome that he's talking about is in Italy. All right, it's over there in the third part, Italy. This thing is recording good. Now, We established where this guy get that phone call, from Rome, and the caller immediately identify himself as a Catholic, calling from the Vatican. All right, let's see where the Vatican at. Okay, Rome, the Vatican. Vatican is actually a country by itself. It's just a very small country, probably the smallest country in the world. Okay, the Vatican is inside. You see? Oh, here we go. Let's go. Okay, this is a country by itself. All right. The Vatican is actually, the Holy See Vatican is actually a country by itself. It's not mixed with everything around here. So the dude that make the call, he lives in this area right there, very small area. Okay, let's see how big is the Vatican. Huh. How big is the country Vatican?
The surface area of Vatican City is 121 acres.
Okay.
In 2019, the population of Vatican City was 825.
Okay. All right. Okay, 825 people live in that country. 121 acres. Okay, very, very small. It's not even a mile. Is it? Okay, let me see if it's a mile. How many acres there is in a mile?
640 acres. According to some information I found on the calculator.
640 acre. See, the Vatican is not even a mile. This country, people. You see, the priest of Mahomet, this country is not even a mile wide, or well, let's give it the benefit of the doubt, 2 miles. 2 or 3 miles. So the call come from right here. This is the Vatican, okay? Don't let that fool you, because beneath the Vatican, they got 53 miles, okay? Let's see if we can get 53 miles line, okay? From here to all the way up, oh boy, okay. 53 miles. See? Okay, let's put it all. Oops, 60, 50, 58, 54. 54 is good. Okay, so now when you look at this, they got 53. Oof. Ah, boy. Let's do this again. Okay, from the Vatican. Let's put it right there, Rome, somewhere around here, and put it at okay, 53. Okay, 53 mile. People, they got from the Vatican, from Rome to all the way up to Aquila, 53 miles underground of libraries, of books, artifacts, things that they took from the fourth part and bring it here. Everything is underneath. All right, 53 miles worth of knowledge. Like, even it could be even bigger. Okay, so just to give you a little visual of what we are dealing with here. All right, and this guy, he told you straight up what was going on, and how those knowledge are being suppressed. So the caller immediately identified himself as a Catholic, a priesthood of Mahomet, a priest from the priesthood of Mahomet, calling from the Vatican, not any place, from the Vatican, the headquarters. He'd heard of my translation pedigrees through our mutual friend, Father Esau Martin, Father Esau Martin, Father Esahu Martin. Genesis 25:25. Okay, this isn't no coincidence. I need to also mention that this call that had been authorized by my superiors. Again, like the brother Big Judah said, those guys, they have superiors. They have people on, above them. They can't go ahead and do whatever the hell they want because they took the oath. There's certain things you have to do. You have to be authorized to do. This is like the military, man. Okay. by my superiors at the Vatican. I have no idea which of my superiors suggest that I be allowed to work on this project, and at this time, it was probably the best for their sake. All right. Now, I cannot and I will not reveal the individual collector who let me work with the 36 tablets that I eventually translate into 30 chapters. I will only say that he spoke with a thick Eastern Bloc accent, and his compensation package was quite generous. So Father Umberto, the dude, called him to translate the 36 tablets into 30 chapter, and then he gave him a hefty amount of monetary fund. We'll say it was quite generous, because again, the pursuit of Mahan. When you read First Nephi, the oh boy, no. Uh, let's take First Nephi chapter 13. You'll know why those guys were generous. Okay. Scriptures, the Book of Mormon, First Nephi, the chapter 13. I think chapter 3. Chapter 3. No. Chapter 13. Chapter 13, verse 3. And okay. And I saw verse 7, First Nephi chapter 13, verse 7. And I saw gold and silver and silk and scarlet and fine twined linen and all manner of precious clothing. And I saw many harlots. And the angel spake unto me, say, Behold, the gold and the silver and the silks and the scarlet and the fine twined linen and the precious clothing and the harlots are the desire of this great abominable church. So those guys, they're only interested in wealth, money, and gain power. So they have a hell of a lot of it. They have a hell of a lot of gold, silk, silver, scarlets, fine twined linen. So whatever they give Father Umberto, it's like it's nothing. It's like dust. They just dust off the clothes, and it was quite generous. Okay, all right, it was a lot of money. I don't know how much, but it's a lot. They probably said the father for life. Anyway, so I was transported to a location outside of Italy, sworn in secrecy. People, sworn in secrecy. Remember, the book of Nephi, the book of not the book of Mormon, but the pearl of great price. Is it? I think it's Doctrine and Covenants. Doctrine and Covenants. Chapter 80. No, it's the Book of Mormon. It's the Book of Mormon, chapter 8. The Book of Mormon, Ether 8. Ether 8, the whole chapter. Ether 8, the whole chapter. Let's see if I can get that right quick. Okay, so there's a story here. Let's see. Okay. There's a story here that one dude he fought for. You read the whole chapter. I'm going to read a little bit. He fought for a kingdom, and what happened is he lost the kingdom, and his daughter is very crafty. So the daughter come up with a plan in secrecy to perform some dance, for the other king, dance for the king and seduce the king and marry the king. And so her father can inherit the kingdom. So she was telling her father that, okay, and verse 15, Ether 8 verse 15, and it came to pass that thus they did and argue with Achish, and Achish did administer unto them the oath. All right, administer unto them the oaths which were given by them of old. Who are those old? Who sought power. the Church of Mahan, which has been handed down even from Cain, who was a murderer from the beginning. And they were kept up by the power of the devil to administer this oath unto the people, to keep them in darkness, to help such a sort power to gain power, and to murder, and to plunder, and to lie, and to commit all manner of wickedness and whoredom. So the father Umberto, they made him sworn in secrecy regarding my tablet's whereabouts, so he cannot say where he was, and where he translated the tablet. And he was quiet. He was under that oath, under that secrecy for a long time, for 34 years, as we just made the little math. Okay, so I was transported to a location outside of Italy, sworn into secrecy regarding my and the tablets whereabout, and soon commence my translation. Okay, so we're going to skip that. You can read that for yourself. As I've considering those tablets over these 30 plus years, 34 to be exact, I now know that the knowledge they held has not benefited me at all. The tablets expose knowledge that I didn't know, didn't need to know, and now I don't want to know. Why? Oh, give me a second. Yes, sweetie. My apology. Okay. So I forgot where I was, but as I've considering, okay, that he did not know or things like that. Why? Because when those guys read those knowledge that was hidden from them, and they realize, holy mother, I didn't want to know that. This didn't benefit me. I Like he said, the knowledge I didn't know, I didn't need to know, and now I don't want to know. Like once you know it, you're like, God damn, man, I wish I didn't know this, man. Like it's like, yo, you done. Like when you read this, it's like, man, I should have mind my own business and then enjoying that little blessing that the Most High bestowed upon me, man. So that's what happened. What has interested me as the most about the tablet is how aligned they are with biblical scriptures, which is true. All right, so we're not going to read all that. Remember, people, the priest of Mahan, when they are doing something like this, they switch name, they give things other names. You really have to pick through it, looking for the needle in the haystack. You really have to chew the meat, and there's a lot of bone, and spit out the bone. There's so much bone in this, man, and very little meat, but it's very tasty meat. As previously mentioned, there was a lot of secrecy, people, a lot of secrecy, Mahan, a lot of Mahanism about the time and place of the tablet examination. I was allowed approximately 12 hours with them in total, and I was allowed to take photographs and keep the film. A package came to my Boston parish shortly after my trip to Italy with VHS video footage that scanned the collection, microfiche, and more photo documentation, all of it concerning the 36 tablet. Okay, let's read that part. As more information about this, okay, oh well, let's read this. There was also a sheaf of translation already gleaned from the tablets by a Franciscan named Edwin Banak. So they were trying, before that, they were trying to translate the tablet from some dude named Edwin Banak. He was a little bit good. However, Banak had died in 1984, so that's why a year later, in 1985, they called Father Umberto, and my name was suggested through connection. I don't completely understand for this translation duty. As more information about this Banak individual, there you go, came to me, the more I was sickening by him. Banak has been accused of sexually abusing boys beginning in the early 60s and throughout the 70s. Mendaciously, his Catholic superiors kept Banak out of jail by moving to different their parishes until his death. So now you got this dude, this Banak fellow, he been raping little boys left and right, and he never served a day in jail. Why? Because the priesthood of Mahan control all the government. The priesthood of Mahan, they got this. They protect the father. Father Banak took the oath. So whatever crime they did, they're going to protect him. This is the best organization for a psychopath to be to, man. If you like to rape, murder, and rob, be a priest, a Catholic priest, a priest of Mahan. Whatever you do, they will not prosecute you, okay? They will not prosecute you. They will leave you alone, and then they will protect you. They will give you all the type of money, and they will give you more victims. There's a story that I watch on YouTube, and there's a father. He been raping little girls like for whenever he was ever since he was a teenager, ever since he's joined the church when he was like 16 or something, and then he become in his 70s. He's still raping little girls. He said he doesn't like little boys because it's wrong. He told the little girls, it's because God ordained him to do this. And then he been doing it since. He confessed on TV. He said he love it. That's all he do. He never get arrested. He can't be arrested because he's under the protection of the priesthood of Mahan. He took the oath. All right. So we're going to stop this first part of the introduction, and then on the second part we'll talk more about this. All right.